wants to have a meeting on Monday to
Yeah.
try to, work on something.
Yes, yes. And when, so I just want to make sure that y'all stick hard to that. Otherwise, then June will show up and then we will be ill prepared again, I know it seems like it's a long time away right now,
No, it's
but
not.
there's a lot of stuff between now and then that'll take place that June will slip up on you like that, so it's time to do it now. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of people have shown
Have they
interest.
created?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, we're gonna meet on, Monday over there at the, community center.
Okay.
And write down some stuff and put some ideas and write them to the Park and Recreation and see what they say.
Okay. So I'm just going to put down that they're having a meeting Monday to organize.
How organized.
Yeah. Okay. So do we need to wait for that to come back? Or do we need to get somebody that a volunteer from one of us to be on that board if they so choose to assemble a board?
I think that, I mean, with me being this my last meeting, I would not, I'm gonna still be when we have our meetings, I'll still come. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would just like to be involved with the Juneteenth board. I would still like to be involved with these things, but I just think it's important that we as a group make sure that Parks and Rec is actually involved with it. So that if another group puts together a board that we're aware
Right.
of what's going on, we're all on the same page that way. Lack of communication seems to be a problem even in small groups.
Right. Right.
That we all talk with one another, make sure that when we host it, it's a good event and it's the right kind of event, and what we're all trying to accomplish.
Well, Diane actually wanted to be before now, but I had to run out of town, so.
Diane is very interested in being a part of this.
Obviously, somebody from this board needs to be on
No,
that.
that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
We invite anybody want to volunteer to be our representative for that when they put that board together? Willie?
You're already on it.
See how that's a volunteer.
It's called voluntold.
Well, Willie's probably already, like you said, probably going to be involved with most of that stuff anyway, and the fact that she's a commissioner and a Parks Board rep too, I mean, it makes her the ideal choice for that. Not trying to put anything extra.
All we want, Willie, raise your hand. Willie's good.
That's just,
Willie.
Love it. Love it. You got it?
Yes, it's unanimous.
All right, so Willie will represent.
Thank you, Willie.
Got it. All right.
But that way that, and whenever that occurs, we as a board make sure that we participate in helping out with the event too, to make sure that, because that is, volunteers is how most of this stuff in Parks and Rec works, and so making sure that we have enough people at events to make sure that the attendees are experiencing a really, cohesive event.
Got it. Okay. All right, taller component for the splash pad.
I sent everybody out an email. It's been a bit ago. I guess it was on the 14th. It says on a copy of the email with the ones that I could get price. It's really difficult. They have a website. You can go to the website. I think the link I sent as well. There's a million components to choose from. But getting prices is a little difficult. And the prices change quite regular. Okay.
Well, I
depending
will
on-
tell you from taking my grandson 5,000 times over to the splash pad. It's melting in the sun while he enjoys it. Their favorite one is the round one that the water squirts.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
ring.
and it's not a tall
No, it's
component,
not.
but it's a fun component. So we might want to look at, and he likes where the water splashes up. And now that one over on the left-hand side that does barely
The volcano?
nothing. Yeah, it doesn't. It just barely
It was
trickles.
intended for really small
Small
children.
children.
Yeah.
And that's
And-
why it was, and when we were laying this out, it was some thought went into where the most volatile activity would be versus where the
Right.
least activity would be. And never in all my life did I imagine that the highlight of the splash pad would be the issue I was trying to correct since day one, the low spot.
They love it.
Now it does require a little additional attention though because of that low spot. It's like any standing water. The next morning, it requires quite a bit of attention, to keep it nice and clean and where it should
Well, what I was going to tell you was between the circle that spins all the water out that he loves and the volcano, not so much, but I understand that's for little kids. But the orange thing in the back, nobody ever goes to it.
And listen, it was the
And I'm
fun-
not trying to, I mean, I'm just saying bigger might not necessarily be better.
yeah.
Because that little circle that
Well,
slings the water around, they
the little
love.
circle at the time of purchase was $6,400. And it seems extremely expensive, but have you seen how the kids treat it?
Yes, and it's
You know,
sturdy.
it is very sturdy, and that's the intent behind those components
Right.
versus makeshift components.
Right.
Which was the original intention when we started, getting people to craft things that were unique, which is a wonderful idea.
But
But
Right.
how it all works, and how
Longevity.
it secures to the pad.
Well, they love where the water comes up out of the ground. Now, there's a couple of places, like the back right corner, if you're coming through the walkway,
Mm-hmm.
there's a thing but no water spews up out of that.
It does. It-
I haven't seen it yet, and
It
I've been
does.
out there a lot. Like, it may trickle, but it's not coming up.
Talk about there's three. There's
No,
three
this
identical.
is a small one over near the, I don't know, it may not be supposed to.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well-
But it's not the big thing, but I thought, well, maybe there's just,
Because every morning I check all the components, and every
and this
morning.
may not be a component. This may
Yeah.
be something
Well,
else that I've seen.
Yeah, all the sprinkler, yeah, because every morning I check to make sure everything is operational. It's part of a
Okay.
checklist that we have established.
But they love the water spewing up. They love,
It's
it's
starting to die down a little bit right now. I mean, I know school's back in session, but I know it uses the same amount of water and requires the same amount of attention, no matter how many people really show up there. The larger groups require more bathroom attention, more
well, I
outside.
cleaned a lot of
garbage.
trash
There's-
when
there's-
I'm there.
And for the most part, people have been doing a good job.
Well, this was going to be my suggestion. I know there's trash cans in the restrooms, but we need a trash can outside.
And I've got that one around front. There is one.
We need one like between the wall and the splash pad.
Okay. I mean, I can get another one over there.
You know
I've
what I'm
got
saying?
more.
Because they're just sitting it down
And then forgetting it.
and then not, I gather and take it in the restroom and throw it in the trash can, but we really need one on the splash pad side.
Okay.
I think.
What's
Okay.
the cheapest one of the ones you sent us?
Uh,
Least expensive.
the least expensive is
The one pipe.
yeah, well,
I like the umbrella.
the umbrella. That's it.
yeah, I was gonna say that's
46.90.
4600.
And if you look at the small picture there, it shows how tall the child is opposed to the structure.
But how
Pretty
tall
simple,
is
but
it? How tall is
just
it?
rains down.
I'd say it's 6 feet tall.
Okay. They would.
It
love
doesn't
that.
do, like I said, it's not a whole lot of working components. I mean, when Britt and I look at this, we think to ourselves, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is $5,000. But it's just what it is.
But the kids will be climbing
They
it.
will be
The
climbing
kids
it.
will be, it's got to be
They will
sturdy enough
attempt
to
to
hold
climb
up.
it. There is no
That
doubt
one
in my
we can
mind.
afford right now, right?
Absolutely, we can afford that right
Let's do
now.
it.
That's what I'm
Do
saying.
it.
I'm saying we'll just add it to it.
Now, it won't get here in time to add it for this season.
But yeah.
Just gonna be honest with you right now. But we'll be here for the start of next season. And that way, if you get additional monies that come in from any avenues, well, you've seen the website. That they're glad to sell us anything we like. Okay.
I'm sure.
They are from Canada. That's where their manufacturing facility is. The young lady that we deal with is from local. She's local. She's a sales representative for the company. Her name's Carly
Carolina,
Jean.
something like that?
Carly Jean.
Yeah.
She's good at her job. She'll sell you anything you want.
Well, and it might be something we buy this now, put it on for next year, and if we get another component,
Yeah.
put it, if we need to, we can always
Well,
rotate.
it's like the
components.
orange ball, the Rotary specifically, whenever we had the opportunity, I took a section like this to Rotary, and they picked the Hilo ball, which was the least expensive of the group that I brought. It was like $4,200, okay? And that's what they wanted to spend their money on, and I was grateful to get the money.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
So they bought the Hilo ball, and then the other money we had came from a conjunction of benefit ball money and some other money.
So do we need to have a motion to purchase?
I think that would be necessary, and that way I could go ahead and I'll go ahead and place the order.
What's it called?
Umbrella.
Umbrella One is, they have several different, everything they have, there's multiple versions of it that do different things, but this is Umbrella One. And
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion to purchase umbrella number 1 component.
I'll make a motion to purchase umbrella number 1 component.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll get that taken care of. And before we move on to this new business, I would like to let you know, I mean, I know you saw me out there, Cedric, the other day. We've got the cable buried and stuff in the field. But I mean, I know the field is going to need to be dragged, and I think
Yeah,
that'll
they're doing that this week, I think.
we might need a little dirt, not really sure, you
Yeah.
know, but I know it rained, it sealed it, and we took the same amount of dirt in. I don't know where it went. I might need to get a little dirt for out there, but it's not finished. Just so you
Yeah,
know,
oh, yeah.
But the cable's secure now.
Nice. Much awesome.
Much better.
Thank you, Beverly. Thank
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, new structure.
Well, of course, y'all know this is my last Parks and Rec meeting.
Yeah, we hate it.
And you know, like I said, I would like to still be involved in a lot, and I plan on being involved. I was involved with everything that happened before I took the job. You know, so I still plan on being involved in the same context in which I was involved before I took the job.
Right.
We're gonna hold you accountable for that.
It will be.
It's all being recorded.
I mean, it was important to me whenever I talked to them at the bank as well that they, in a very similar fashion, they want me to be involved as well. So
Right.
it's going to be okay.
So we just want to start talking. I think all of you got an email from me, and then Bedford, you just pipe in and fill up anywhere we need to. But we tried to look at what he's been doing over the past few years. And you have to remember, he was hired in the middle of the pandemic,
Right.
July of 2020. So there wasn't a lot going on. And his priority was keeping parks up outside. And all of a sudden, you got to be an expert doing everything from watering everything and planting everything and cutting everything. And Bedford is a little bit of a little OCD, but a perfectionist is a nice way to say it. So nobody in this room can clean as well as he can. Even though we paid an outside firm,
He fired.
he fired him. So over the course of time, with not that many events, and the number one priority being a splash pad, which was stressful enough as it was, basically he was this maintenance man that's cleaning every day, and then on top of that, and doing all kinds of outside work. And on top of that, in the last 6 months, we've hired a new streets director. So now we have this crew that has doubled their time in mowing, and so they're mowing our parks, so we don't have to have separate people mowing our parks. And along with the help of Brent Cockrell, who every day he's not a fireman, he's helping Bedford, and he can fix anything and has fixed anything, and just constant projects. Last couple of days they've been putting the cameras in the community center. They're going to be doing the lights tomorrow. So we've got all kinds of help that's been great, but the job description seems to have changed a lot since we created this director position when we got the grant, before Thomas was hired.
Yes.
And Thomas is already moving on to another job, by the way.
Thomas to be in Fort Hood, Texas, in next month.
Yeah. So when we looked at what he had been spending his time on, and we know that we're going to have a lot of the outside maintenance stuff done because we now have the crews to do it efficiently, we're thinking we need somebody that more of an events planner for all the events out at the community center, for all the events that we do outside, seasonal, Halloween, Juneteenth, all of that. Right now we think it's full-time, be lesser pay, and then we are thinking of having a maintenance type person. The other problem with having a contractual person to do your cleaning is they're not going to show up on a Sunday morning to clean from a Saturday night event, and you have to have somebody there right away to clean up that mess, or it's even a worse of a mess if you let it sit there.
Especially if there's back-to-back events. Most recently, that situation, there was a rather large event that took place, set up on Friday, event Saturday, and then Sunday there was a family reunion in the same facility, and it's hard to find someone to do that.
And the big event just trashed the place.
Yes.
So it was a major, everybody had to come in, it was pretty much Bedford and the regulars, but it took a lot to get ready for that family reunion. So we're thinking of a maintenance type position that would be all hours, and we're even thinking that we would make it full-time and extend it to maintenance to other city facilities, because we pay over $15,000 to have City Hall clean, Public Works clean, other things. We could have a person
To get it all.
their schedule.
I'd have fired them already too.
Okay, just so you know.
You will not be in the building. So that's just, Philip and I talking. We've been sharing with Bedford and Victoria, just talked with Miss Willie. That's kind of what we're leaning towards now. Just wanted your feedback on that. We brought up things like, do we need to meet monthly still? Do you want to meet as needed? Do you want to meet quarterly? And then we talked about the teen center. Right now, we're not doing the teen center. We haven't been able to justify it financially yet or to get the numbers up. So there's a lot of things that are going to be in flux for a little bit. But we think with Brent here, he can kind of fill in for phone calls that Bedford's getting in the middle of the night and things like that, or the non-emergency number the police department can, and then Victoria can continue to help with the bookings, but she's going to be training this new person to do that. So it's kind of what we're talking about now. I haven't taken any of this to the commission. We're going to probably start the conversation in the study session tomorrow night, and we'd have to add different positions to our compensation plan to allow for it. But I just wanted you guys to say something about that doesn't sound right, or it makes sense, or am I missing anything?
I think the only thing to add to that is we looked at the financial part with getting rid of some of the contractual services, and with salaries, we were able to get 2 out of that with not much more money added to it.
So if we do an event, if we do this as an event coordinator side of the thing, so it's a full-time position, what are we looking at for pay for that?
We were thinking it would be in the range of 18 to 20. Isn't that what we talked about? An hour, 18 to 20 an hour.
Okay.
That's just us looking at a few samples that are online and using MTAP.
Yeah, we used a salary survey from MTAS with cities similar to us,
Right.
even bigger. That's things comparable for that position.
Yeah.
I think one thing to take out of this as we grow, and as if the planning commissions allow us to grow, and it's true. If it allows us to grow, I think we took a step backwards, but I think it will transition into a director again one day when the need is there. But we learned from Bedford, it was just too much work from a director position. So divvying some of these projects out, like with streets and the parks and with the help there now, and then the coordinator is a big deal. Victoria's having to do it all now. She has other responsibilities.
Right.
And then the maintenance part or the custodian, some of that stuff, I think that's needed. So I think it's a good plan to transition back to where we are now with staff.
That's a good point. Even one of the developments that was on the agenda last night that's deferred till next month, one of the requests we made is right there on Cross Bridges across from the doctor's office, the storage unit. It's at 59 acres. We've asked at the end of the neighborhood to put a park, a playground, because that would be right at our ball fields, and it would be a benefit to their neighborhood where their people that live there could walk right to that playground. And essentially verbally they've said that's a great idea. So then now you're gonna have another little park. If we start getting the people in that are proposing to build, the responsibilities of the recreation committee and the whole department will increase. And then I think you're gonna need the staffing back up again, but we're kind of just wait for that to be the right time to do it.
Right.
Right now, I think it's a good idea.
I do too.
I do too.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I see is as we grow as a community and as we grow, families come in, funding has to increase for the parks department. As we increase, if we add another park, Bedford took a lot on his shoulders, and he's a bigger man than I am to carry some of this stuff. But I think that that's a big thing that we have to look at as a community. Is for my kids use a splash pad. My kids put at the parks today. Even like let's go to the park. Well, it's raining. Like the community, the commission, the town, etc., has to put more funding into that. And I think that adding one person to do the events is awesome, and having one person to do the parks. I personally think you need more than one person to do maintenance.
We may find
But
that out. It's a big
as we
job.
move on, that, and I know Bedford can speak more to that than anybody. How many parks we got so far?
Well, the number of parks is 53 acres of total
Right.
green space.
Right.
So it's
53
a
acres.
lot.
So basically, we have the outside help. We'd have the maintenance would be doing the restrooms in the park.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is, and I look at it from where I sit at our business, is that you can get a lot more done with teams, and one person can't do anything. And I felt like a lot of that fell on his shoulders, and some probably he took on himself.
He did.
But
And I think it's clear that I need to make that clear that no one really asked me to take on any of the things I did. There was no real formatted game plan to begin with.
Right.
And I had all that time in the beginning
Yeah.
COVID time.
to really
Yeah.
analyze everything, and everything
Absolutely.
that I saw that needed attention. It was like, well, if this is going to be under my response, this is how I feel.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's a standard that I set for myself. No one else set it for me,
Right.
and I couldn't keep up with what I set for myself. You know,
Big goal.
no, it is true.
That's
You know,
good.
it's like I need to. We have 28 toilets and 14 sinks that are considered parks and rec. Okay.
That's the number that Cedric was looking for.
Yeah.
28 toilets and 14 sinks that I don't know that anybody really took care of before I got here. It's like, why don't anybody think that I would be okay with this?
Right, right.
You know,
Because it's
you would
you're
think
the-
my toilet's like this at home,
it's your name. Yeah, it's your name. And
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
and I would hold whoever worked in my department accountable to that same
Absolutely.
standard. And I really can't do that to somebody else's employees.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
Yeah. Yes.
So
We do have some job descriptions up there,
Nice.
and then we can also make copy. Did I send those in the email or just send his duties?
I think it's just.
I think you
it's
did
just
the-
his
his-
duties.
Okay, and we're more than happy. These are just draft format right
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
Cedric made a good point, and Kate, I know she's still working out all the details of it, but they may be submitting some to you to actually do some things at parks
We
this
are,
year.
and
For recommendation to you
we've
guys.
shared with all the
You gotta know
commissioners.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We've recently paid off a loan for sewer, and so we are thinking about reborrowing, and it's like 1% interest.
Sure.
We borrow from ourselves, but we
Sure.
have to pay ourselves back. Comptroller, it's all up on the up and up, and the comptroller has to approve it. And we were thinking about showing that you the community that
Sure.
you care for our parks, and let's go out there and pave the ball fields parking lot. Let's go out there and do some things that people will see.
Mhm.
You know, we always get criticized for not paving a road, and to pave a road is millions of dollars.
Yes.
We want to pave a road, but if we could show we really do care and put some
Yeah.
effort into our parks and do
it
some
make a huge
cleanup.
difference.
What we're trying to do, and I can speak just for the Dixie Youth side of thing, is we're trying to, when stuff like that happens, we want to host tournaments
Yes.
to bring money to. That's our number one goal. That's all we talk about. It's
So
like,
that's our big ball field there,
Yeah.
and the parking lot needs to be
Yeah.
fixed up,
And,
and
yeah.
there's a lot
Wheel-
of stuff.
wheelchair
Improve
accessible.
the bathroom,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. Then people will at least see that we're doing
Mhm.
something.
We're doing something, and
Yeah.
and they're bringing that money
And
back
then as
into
soon
the
as we pay
community.
that loan off, then we'll do it
Do it
again.
again. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we've shared all that with all the commissioners, that that's our plan, and probably this fall, we'll bring it up for a vote.
Nice.
Yeah. Another point to that, the like the splash pad grants coming back out again, like we got with there, so we can get that money and stretch it,
That
you
could
know,
be your
50
match, yeah.
Yeah.
So it may even be more, but I know
Mhm.
Kate's working on that.
Absolutely.
You want to go through some of these? Can you print some of those? I can't print from here, can
Take care of it.
I? Okay. You want to go through them or just?
I think we just want to see copies.
Yeah.
Just-
Keep copies
yeah,
to
we'll
email
take
to
it.
us.
If you
Yeah.
see
We just
something
need to
that you
take
look
it.
at and you're like, what's this, and we missed something, because again, we're
Yeah.
taking these from Memphis.
Sure, sure,
and-
yeah.
And we're borrowing from other cities and putting our stuff in. there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now,
And-
if you see something that you think need to be added or taken out, you know,
Just shoot us an email.
Absolutely.
And then there's the other one. It is I just got it labeled as custodian right now. We don't really know,
Right.
but it's basically
Maintenance.
maintenance and cleaning, bulb replacement, all the things that.
Yeah.
It's the community center itself. I mean, it has people in it daily.
Daily. Yeah.
Every single day. And I know City Hall has people in it daily too. It is the recurring people that show up that are like our seniors. They're our old people. And it's like, that's kind of was embarrassing to think that we would be okay with our seniors having a facility that was not cleaned daily, you know, a little bit, you know, which that's hard to do without having somebody that works for us. You know, I mean, you're not going to get anybody to come. It didn't take you 10 minutes.
Right.
But it's not a long job. It's a 10-minute job, but somebody's got to be there daily.
Absolutely.
Are we missing anything? So basically, the heroes are gonna step in are Victoria and Brent, and they're gonna get us through the interim, but we think that interim is probably 4 months, for sure. By the time we're gonna hire people and get them trained, and Brent can get rid of some things because he's got somebody else there, so.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think at least 4 months.
yeah.
Well, I do have a person who has asked about the events coordinator who was very interested in doing that.
I think we'll probably get some good applicants and, to be, you know, a go-getter that knows the community or can work well with the community. Obviously, it's gotta be somebody that's super friendly and
Yeah.
And those two positions kind of need to work well together too.
Right.
I got an event and I need you here to help me, and both of those positions would be probably very flexible hour-wise.
I mean, that's another thing. As a director, there is no set schedule with this job. I mean,
They pay you salary and work you to death, don't they, baby?
I mean, Sierras go into the wee hours.
Yeah.
And when they have
Right.
problems up there, I mean, it's like somebody needs to go and address it, or it might get really out of. And Brent can testify. It's a lot of people up there. You know what I mean? You don't want to just leave that unattended when something's going wrong, and leave it to them to try to fix.
Right.
Don't try to fix it, please.
Right.
Please don't try to fix it.
What-
I'm on my way.
What we already are getting with the police department is the September 3rd event, is we're gonna have a on-duty officer there.
Yes.
Which is coming up on that next thing, the scheduled
Nice.
events. That's the thing.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and do
Right.
into that. if you want
Scheduled
to. Good segue. Scheduled events. There's not a lot going on. There's a birthday party in the West Hall that it's not going to be a big issue. I'll have it set up Friday, and then it'll take place Saturday and Sunday, and Monday we'll clean up after it. Those are not big deals. But September the 3rd, there's a Quinceañera there. Okay?
Yes, yes.
And it will be a
Fun
big deal.
times.
It'll be fun times, yeah. Fun times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll call you in a minute tomorrow.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
And I'm everybody.
And that's all I really got.
Y'all know I take care of you, you don't have you. So, get your little high tails ready, we go.
Okay.
It's big parties in general.
Oh yeah.
When they're big like that, it doesn't matter if it's a wedding, a family. Look, I had an event there was 0 alcohol there, and they left a bigger mess than I've had with a lot of things. They left a tent on site for a week.
Is there a fee for like if it's left like that?
You don't get your.
You don't get your deposit back, but that's part of the ordinance that's on the table right
They don't
now.
care.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what I'm
It's not
saying.
enough. It's not enough to resonate with anybody.
Like, if you don't get your deposit back, and there's a fee.
Then you got to be able to hold some kind of credit card on file. You've got to be able to have some way to hold them to
For the
that fire.
damage.
Absolutely.
And right now, the cameras that we got in there right now, the resolution, there's no blind spots in it. When somebody broke into these hall and killed my scarecrow, I really couldn't see a whole lot of what went down. You could see now.
Yes, sir.
You could see now. Didn't have a blind spot in that building.
But I mean, if we're going to do big events like that, we definitely need some way to hold them accountable for
Absolutely.
damages. And like, if we're gonna hire someone to do the cleaning, then maybe that needs to be a fee added onto that. Say, if,
Absolutely.
That was
like, if,
considered. We've talked about
you know,
that. And
that needs to be
Left
added
in a
into it.
mess, you have
Yeah.
to pay a,
non-refundable fee.
kind of like if you smoke in a hotel
Like,
room,
you know,
you
I
gotta
can
pay
understand like
$300
taking
or
out the
something.
trash and stuff like that, but you know, cleaning up a mess here and there. But if like you've got stuff strode from one end of the building to the other, and
Which I'd check
bottles
to show you.
outside, and like, no, you don't have to show me because I'm pretty sure I can imagine.
Well, we'll go ahead and send you a draft of the ordinance that's in front of the commission now, and we
Okay.
up the cleaning,
Yeah.
and you have to pay more just because of alcohol.
Right.
And
It's really got a good proposition in place right now. It just needs to get to the point where you can utilize it.
Yeah.
The one we had before, we know these rules are on the table, but we couldn't do anything about it because we've not gotten to the next step.
Yeah.
You know, it takes 2 months when it gets to that step.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes.
Absolutely.
She told me give us some, I gave them.
so we're trying to figure out how to attach the credit card to the
I think
process.
that's a good
So,
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so when you mess with our electric system and we have to call somebody in to fix it,
Yes.
that's going on your card. Just
Yeah.
like if you stay at a hotel or
It's common
Yes.
sense.
something
Definitely.
like that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Because I mean, this is you know, a building for the whole community,
Right.
not just you. And
All
like, if
taxpayers.
you damage it, then you need to be responsible for the repair of those damages,
agree.
one way or another.
Agreed.
We're working on it.
okay?
And I think like just kind of add on, someone mentioned something to me the other day about some things, and I think the whole I've been here forever, good old boy system. Like if you've been here forever, you should have honor and respect for the property in your city, and not expect it to be like I've only been here in September 7 years, 8 years, and I love Mount Pleasant. Like this is my spot, and I want when people come in this town to show that we care about this town, and I think the big part is the parks. Everybody I talk to,
Everybody will notice that.
they will notice that. Everybody will notice that. And I think like having the honor and respect for your community is huge for me. And that's why I don't mind hurting people's feelings when it comes to certain things, because do you treat that? And it's the same thing with Chick-fil-A. And it's in our policy. When you sign up for us, you treat every person and every teammate with honor, dignity, and respect. That's the three main things. And I think that if you carry that across the board and in the communities or whatever, you won't have issues because you treat it like it's your own.
Right. With you.
Couldn't agree more, Sid.
Did you get finished with your agenda?
I did, that was all I had on the agenda, unless anybody has anything else to add, I'd say we're good to go.
All right, and entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Thank y'all.